Well, at the moment, I don't think they'd be able to use anything to cool the system. The fact that they've been dumping seawater on there actually shows how out of control the system is. But, I mean, just like Chris explained just then, the whole setup, it's ridiculous. Why would anyone in their right mind even devise a system like this? It doesn't make any sense at all.
This is exactly what Einstein said.
Well, it doesn't make any sense at all. And it's not just the problems that we're seeing in the reactor. Like in the number 4 plant, in the number 4 reactor at the Fukushima plant, apparently they've lost most of the water from the cooling pool. And in the cooling pool, there's over 1,000 tons of spent fuel rods, which are usually MOX or plutonium rods because they're rods. And yeah, this is incredibly dangerous what's going on over there. And I just can't imagine how human consciousness ever got to this impaired state where it would come up with something like a nuclear reactor. I mean, seriously, Chris, if you were left to your own devices, would you ever come up with nuclear energy? How do people think of these things? How did this consciousness ever get this impaired? That's the question for me.
Well, let me play devil's advocate for a minute. I mean, Japan has no oil, it's got no coal, it's got nothing except for nuclear power. I mean, was this just a last resort to try to control their own energy supply?
Well, I don't know, Chris. I mean, you've also got to follow the money. I mean, if you follow the money with these reactors, what you get is General Electric and Westinghouse. So what you actually get is J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller. So I would, as Lorenz said in her article, there is nowhere on Earth that you could find more dangerous to put this many nuclear reactors.
I was telling Chris the other day, I was like, we had no business coming up with this idea in the first place. We're not supposed to poison the fishbowl, and this is the ultimate poisoning of the fishbowl.
But even with the Japanese people, I mean, the West went in there. We totally westernized these people. We only got in there 100 years ago, 120 years ago. They didn't open their borders until then. It was old school, old fashioned samurai Japan. That's what it was. And we kind of snuck our way in there and we totally industrialized them. And then we get these reactors that are Western design. We put them on the most dangerous area on Earth. I mean, it's almost like an accident, a designed accident that's waiting to happen. I mean, I hate to say that, but I can't see any intellectual reasoning or rationale that put these reactors in this place on Earth. It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Well, I can't help but think all of these quote-unquote New Agers who are saying as we approach 2012, our DNA is going to change. And here we go.
Oh, it certainly will.
Well, yeah, well, this is certainly going to change people's DNA. I mean, it's an incredibly dangerous situation. I mean, I'm kind of safe or safer here in Australia because as much of the high-level radiation goes across the equator, it will get pushed up into the upper atmosphere because of the hot air over the equator. But the northern hemisphere, the whole northern hemisphere is going to feel this nuclear event, and most especially in Japan and in the United States, unfortunately.
Well, with Chernobyl, I hope I'm saying that right. What they noticed is that the Swiss were picking up radiation in their winds, and that was one of the first signals that something was going on, even while the Russian government was trying to hide it. What caused radiation to move that way?
Well, it'll go by prevailing winds as well. I mean, the local prevailing winds, the jet stream is very high altitude. So once this gets up into the upper atmosphere, that's the problem. That's when it hits the jet stream. But localized, it's all due to the prevailing winds of the area.
So it depends on where the jet stream's going.
Well, the jet stream always travels west to east, but that's high altitude, I'm saying. So your local weather patterns and low normal altitude, say like below 30,000 feet, this is all to do with prevailing winds and local storm activity and all that sort of stuff. But once you start getting up above that general local atmosphere and you get into the jet stream actually moves from west to east. It always does. That's just the way it moves around the planet.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been questioning nuclear energy for a very long time. Whenever I was really sick a few years ago, they kept doing CT scans on my abdomen, and it was like every couple weeks I'd get sick, and they'd do another one and another one and another one. And soon my hair started falling out, not real bad, but I just started feeling real sick all the time. And I asked the doctor about it, and he said, well, you had this much radiation, you're going to feel probably a little bit of it, but it's probably nothing to worry about. But my chances of getting cancer later on down the road. I asked him about that, and he said, we have no idea. We don't know. It depends on how much you absorbed. So I think the dose that people are going to get that they should be worried about is not the initial dose, but the cumulative dose. Can you explain the difference between effective dose and cumulative dose?
Well, of course, cumulative doses, of course, it's going to build up the more that you have, but I mean, there's things you can take such as iodine and things like this that I'm sure Chris is going to go into a little bit later to, help with radiation sickness and stuff like that. But I mean, I think the situation is done now. It's happening. There's nothing we can do to prevent this from going the direction that it's going to go. And I think what we really need to do is look at it as a wake-up call, because it's not just the use of nuclear energy that's the problem. This is another one of these compounding things. I mean, I see all of these problems, even the fact that we're embracing this technology, the fact that these power plants were built where they were, this whole thing comes down to leadership. All of it comes down to the leadership of this planet. This entire system that we live under is completely and utterly dysfunctional. And all of these governments, all these corporations, all these people that do all this stuff that creates these incredible problems, this is all happening because the leadership, the governments, allows this situation to continue. And we, the people, have forgotten that the governments that we have in all of our countries are simply our administrative arm. We employ these people to do the right thing, to run things properly, to ensure that we live in a safe and prosperous world. And we are the beneficiaries of the trust that we give the governments, the power that we entrust to them. And every one of these governments is operating in breach of trust, every single one of them. We need to realise this. We need to realise this about all of our governments. We need to put them back where they belong in the social pecking order, which is as a group of public servants who are absolutely operating in breach of trust. And this needs to be a huge wake-up call, because this problem is related to every single other problem that we face as a species on this planet. The shortage, the homelessness, the pollution, this is just a kick in the face, and it's a slap in the face for humanity to wake up, start taking responsibility for itself, and get rid of these criminals that are running this planet. Just tell them to go away. They can go live on Christmas Island or something. We'll give them all a food stamp or something like that. I mean, we need to get rid of these people. We need to start doing things properly. We need to realise what's going on here, and we need to realise how we can fix the situation.
Well, if we keep letting them run things the way they are right now, they're going to destroy all of us. They're going to destroy our future as a species. They're going to destroy the planet. And just for their own self-interest. I don't understand. How much money do you need? How much money could you possibly need to create something like this and to create a system like this that is going to destroy the planet and destroy humanity?
Well, it reminds me of Cliff High, who stated a few years ago that we haven't seen any pictures of Brzezinski, we haven't seen any pictures of Kissinger or any of these people, and what he suspects is that they've all just evacuated. And they knew there was some coming disaster, and maybe they're just done with the Earth. And they're just...
Information about the evacuation situation with all of the embassies, if you want me to tell you.
Absolutely, but let me do this if you don't mind, guys. I want to bring Tim on from radiationnetwork.com. If we can take a quick break, bring him on, just get his take on what's going on. He basically has a website where he gathers independent radiation meters or independent radiation readings from all around the globe. And if I can just bring him on for 10 minutes, and then we can jump back into discussion.
Absolutely.
Is that good with everybody? Okay. We'll see you in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. TruthFrequencyRadio.com, speaking with Christopher Everard, Max Igan, EnigmaTV.com, TheCrowHouse.com, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Soul has no limitation.
from this wider perspective, so much of what we do to each other must have the rest of creation shaking their heads in disbelief. The fact is that someone born in the United States is not more special than someone born in Mexico. Someone born in London is not more special than someone born in Liverpool. Someone who is white is not more special than someone who is black. They're just vehicles for the consciousness to experience. If you go down to the seashore and you pick up a droplet of water in your hand, how can anyone say that that droplet is any more or less special than all the other billions and trillions of droplets you see in the ocean before you? It's the perfect environmental and human assassin. It insists every year that we take more from the earth even quicker, turn it into even more things, sell even more things, consume even more things, throw away even more things, to worship the real God of the modern world, economic growth. How can you buy or sell the sky? We do not own the freshness of the air or the sparkle of the water. How then can you buy them from us? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people, holy in their memory and experience. We know the white man does not understand our ways. He's a stranger who comes in the night and takes from the land whatever he needs. The earth is not his friend, but his enemy. And when he's conquered it, he moves on.
Hello.
He kidnaps the earth and his children. His appetite will devour the earth and leave behind a desert. If the beasts were gone, we would die from a great loneliness of the spirit. For whatever befalls the earth, befalls the children of the earth.
Love is there.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are speaking with Christopher Everard and Max Igan about this terrible disaster that's happened in Japan, how it's going to affect the world, and what we can do to protect ourselves. We were going to bring Tim from radiationnetwork.com on the line, but it looks like his line is ringing busy, so we'll try again a little bit later in the broadcast. But Chris, did you want to pick it up from there?
Yes, I'd like to recommend two books to everyone. These are books which were published about 12 or 15 years ago. They are excellent books. The first one is called The Nuclear Barons. Now, a baron is an aristocratic title. It's rather like an earl, a viscount, or a duke. And this book explains that the two barons behind the nuclear reactor industry, which we have now, one baron is French, and the other baron is German. Now that's Baron Wisecracker, and he's related to the Schleswig-Holstein aristocratic family who have huge land holdings in Germany and also on the German-Danish border. And it was Baron Wisecracker who actually helped develop a dirty bomb called the Bell for the Third Reich, for the Nazis. And it's very much this aristocratic German family that are behind the development of the nuclear industry in Europe. The other book which I must recommend that everybody reads, it was published about 12, 15 years ago. It's called Poisoned Rain. Now, that's not rain as in the weather of rain, that's as in the royal rain, R-E-I-G-N, Poisoned Rain. This book explains how the French government have completely and utterly poisoned the whole of Polynesia, thousands of square miles of the South Pacific.